see and I hear all the concerns of everyone. Mr. Chairman, I personally do not have a problem with anyone. But for the last 2 years, myself, my kids, my family have been threatened, messages sent based on comments that were made by the minister. So, Mr. Chairman, there is no other way than for me to feel attacked and extremely upset about this presentation that I just saw, because the presentation did exactly what has been happening for the longest while, which is little shots being fired and little comments being made. And I continue to say, and I stayed, maybe it's my fault that I stayed quiet long. I said, you know what? Eventually everyone will figure out what is what, and it will fall in place. And I don't have to make no statements, and I don't have to get, all riled up about it. But enough is enough. Enough is enough. Mr. Chairman, between 2014 and 2023, there were 201 licenses given out. I sought the lifting of a moratorium anywhere, have not found it, have not seen it. But the investigation, or the SOAB report and the Integrity Chamber report, focus on the year 23 going forward, which is unfortunate, because if you're going to try to figure out what went wrong, you need to know where it started. Going back from that, going straight forward. So then the question would be, how could licenses have been given out without any publication, any lifting? Maybe the minister and her support staff could supply us with that answer. Then, Mr. Chairman, when I entered the ministry, one of the first things that I saw was a request from a car rental license asking to expand. And we are talking about 2021. A letter was drafted right away. The advice came up, negative because of a moratorium. I then told the minister a couple days before I was down at receivers, and I saw there were no number plates, normal number plates, M and Ps, but there were over 1,000 R plates. The minister then told me why. I asked him, I said, I have no idea. And we sent an email to the head of receivers asking for a count in the last 5 years, if I remember correctly, of all the plates that were picked up and given away. So when I see the report made of the SOAB and the Integrity Chamber, where they say that there is no discussion with the receivers who actually give out the plates, I start to wonder who gave them the information for them to make their reports. But we'll continue. In the policy, in the publication in 2014, it speaks of renting out plates. And it says, no plate can be rented out without permission from the minister. So my question was then, how many requests have we ever received? And came to realize that what was actually happening was people were renting out their plates, which is illegal, but never requesting for $800, $900, $1,000 a month. So some individuals were literally living off of this. Unfair. When we got back the list, eventually, we realized how much permits were not picked up. And the minister came up with a plan on how he would clean it up. The goal was never to surpass 550 taxis, for example. Well, I don't believe that that was the goal. So in the moratorium on September the 27th, 2023, and Mr. Chairman, can I show that?
Go right ahead, MP La Cruz.
In that publication,
MP La Cruz, just to be clear, sorry to cut you off. In the sense of show it to the camera, yes, but via presentation, I have already rescinded the opportunity to do so.
wise, Mr. Chairman. Very wise. But I'll place them all on my Facebook page because they're public knowledge. Okay?
The topic for my request for this meeting, and again, I want to stress the date. The date of my request was September the 5th of the year 2023. At that time, not only did Parliament receive many reports and presentations that included taxi and bus drivers, that included public transportation in general. And Mr. Chairman, with your indulgence, I'm not going to mention them right now, but the listing of that information that was sent to Parliament about public transportation is, of course, available in Parliament's archives. At the time, looking at that, my request to the minister was simple, through the chair of this committee. And it stated as follows. The Minister of TIAT, this is in September 2023, the Minister of TIAT has issued a notice regarding changes in the area of public transportation. In this notice, persons who wish to change from one license type to another license type are invited to do so. It is important to know the rationale behind this announcement and the potential outcome. I therefore requested a meeting of this committee so that the Minister of TIAT could outline his plans for public transportation in general and that announcement in particular. This was my initial request. In the meantime, Mr. Chairman, we received from the Minister of TIAT two reports regarding the matter of public transportation on St. Martin. And these are now with Parliament, and I look forward to hearing from the Minister regarding these reports, because I would recommend to Parliament that, if necessary, these reports be handled by this committee in order to, one way or another, draw a line under these reports. Too often, reports, whether directly to Parliament or via the government, are left sort of hanging in Parliament. And I think it behooves this committee to, after hearing from the minister on this entire matter, that we look at those reports and decide what about them. Do we handle them? Do we discuss them? Do we get recommendations from the minister? Is there any further action required from the Parliament of St. Martin? However, Mr. Chairman, in the reports that I referred to earlier, during the year 2023, something stands out. And while I know it's not this minister's forte, via this committee, I will ask this minister to ask her colleague regarding the medical insurance of taxi drivers, bus drivers, sole proprietors, and vendors. Mr. Chairman, the records of Parliament would show how often I broach this subject, how often Parliament was told that it was on the verge of being finalized. I have reports which I'll share during the meeting of the Minister of VSA at the time saying basically by the end of that year that this matter would have been finalized. Now that a general health insurance under whatever name seems to be even further than we had anticipated becoming a reality, I would ask this committee to please have whichever minister responsible for the health coverage for our sole proprietors, our vendors, our taxi and bus drivers, those who do not have any medical coverage, that these are the issues that are hurting today. These are the issues that are hurting our taxi and bus drivers today and the others who fall outside of the board of medical coverage. I've stated this before and I want to repeat it. It is kind of unfair that a director of an NV would receive coverage as an employee and our sole proprietors and small businessmen and women cannot because they are considered their own boss. And that we, years waiting for the general health insurance, still push this thing forward. And in the meantime, so many of our people are affected by this fact and don't have medical coverage. I don't have much things to ask, but getting from the minister a report as where this matter stands. The moratoriums, left and right, that we have heard and read about. Are there moratoriums? Are there amounts? Mr. Chairman, we heard that basically a taxi policy, and maybe bus policy too, is based on the amount of license plates that sometime in the past were ordered without any consideration for market, without any consideration for anything else. So, Mr. Chairman, that for me is important. So I'll hear from the minister. Minister, what really happened? How many changes were made? Who got what? How did that exactly go? That was my original request. But more importantly, I want to know what is the treatment of those who have a license right now today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social health insurances.
24/7 TV programming on www.stmartinmediacenter.com, SXM Daily News, PBS NewsHour, Now You Know, comm programs, documentary, entertainment, sports events, Saturday children's hours, religion programs, and movies. Click on SXM TV broadcast to see your favorite programs.
St. Martin, as heavy rain falls across our region, we urge all residents and visitors to exercise caution and stay alert. Here are the areas prone to street flooding, flash floods, and/or rock slides. Avoid these locations until water levels subside. Atillage Road Roundabout, Cul-de-Sac. Arch Road, Sucker Garden. Beacon Hill Road, Simpson Bay. Atillage Road, Border Monument, Belvedere, Lower Princess Quarter. Billy Folly Road, Coal Bay, Emma Plain, Phillipsburg, LB Scott Road, Cul-de-Sac, Rhine Road, Lowlands, Welhalaken Road, Low K Roundabout, K Hill, Little Bay, Well Road, Wellington Road, and Orange Grove Road, Coal Bay, Yancho Rousquin Boulevard, Point Blanche, and Sakers Gut Road, Cul-de-Sac. Remember, safety comes first. Let's work together to keep our community safe. This public service announcement is brought to you by the Department of Communication.
I think everybody's been complaining about traffic. Clearly, the cruise arrivals have arrived, but the real busy season for the hotels, the land-based guests, hasn't even really started yet. But traffic is horrendous. People say, a pothole, puddles. So for minor infrastructure problems, it ends up creating huge delays. Do you have a plan as Minister of Roaming to sort of tackle those small obstacles that are creating impediments to our traffic flow? Because otherwise this season's going to be painful.
Yep. No, very good question, Emil. And I think it's very important to recognize that there's a low-hanging fruit issues, which are basically, like you indicated, the potholes, the potential flooding. And there's the big, more abstract matters, which is basically the number of cars we have in the island and the way how we've built. If you recall, a couple of months ago, I indicated that I'm actually busy with UNOPS now for a more comprehensive, large-scale study that's going to be done in 3 phases. Phase 1 identifies those quick, low-hanging fruits, which we already started implementing somewhat throughout the country, towards Phase 2 and Phase 3, which basically looks at potential new infrastructure. Within this study, which is going to be kicking off in the next couple of weeks, actually, in terms of the more comprehensive side, we're looking at things like, do we need to create more roads? What do we do with the car situation? Because the reality is, the potholes themselves aren't necessarily causing dramatic amounts of traffic. It's really about the way of our capacity to carry. So the Minister of TS has also initiated, to sort of complement this traffic study, a carrying capacity study. The reality is, there's some hard discussions that have to be had about, one, the way we build. So for example, cars backing up onto the main road versus filter lanes. We're implementing that more and more within the Ministry of Roaming in terms of what we do with civil works permits and building permits. It's also a question of how many cars we allow in a country that has 37 square miles, and the fact that in the considerations we make about traffic, we have to consider also the front side. We have a completely open border, so we can't consider 16 square miles. Infrastructure has to also be in tandem in cooperation with the front side. The low-hanging fruit, yes, we've already started things like, for example, the entrance of Canagita Street with one-way traffic, because that has created for years a bottlenecking in that area. There were months and months of complaints, people failing to realize the borough was actually still closed. I haven't had many complaints anymore about that, beyond the fact now that there's a bit of a challenge now entering onto the pond field from the secondary road, but that's where we're going to address in the more long term, because the idea is also to address infrastructure as a whole, because we know, rightfully so, low-hanging fruit, flooding does impact the way people use the road. The minute it rains, people start to slow down. But again, these are things that are very low-hanging, and we are working on them continuously. But I think what's really important, we have to reflect on it, is how much more can we take, and how do we regulate traffic, cars, and the way we build as well, and the impact of that on the infrastructure.
SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social health insurances.
24/7 TV programming on www.stmartinmediacenter.com. SXM Daily News.
And I'll do about anything to make it bloom. I think of it, I dream of it, in the morning, night, and noon. And to it I'll give my life to keep on shining with the sunshine that comes out in the morning. We've made a sacrifice to get it where it is now. With our smiling faces, we share the hard times. Now nobody wanna leave it up to no one who he thinks doesn't know I care about yesterday's and today's hard times we've had. And I do about anything to make it bloom. I think of it, I dream of it, in the morning, night, and noon. And to it I'll give my life to keep on shining with the sunshine that comes out in the morning. All I see before me, one eye.
Today we stand together on sacred soil, 66 years strong, celebrating St. Martin Day, under the powerful theme, Sankofa, learning from the past to build for the future. And what better day to do so than today? A day built on unity and jollification, the cornerstones of who we are as a people. 66 years ago, our founding fathers envisioned a St. Martin united beyond borders, a land where culture was our compass and where family ties crossed frontiers with ease and love. They dreamt of an island that celebrated jollification, not just in word, but as a way of life, a joy rooted in togetherness, respect, and mutual care. They build the foundation and they build it strong. Unity, faith, respect, and pride.
Today, we have gathered as one island, one people, to celebrate the spirit of St. Martin Day, a day where we honor not only the history of our shared land, but the bonds and bloodlines that unite us across North and South, across generations, and across the sea. Our theme for this year is Sankofa, a saying from the Akan people, and that means to go back and fetch it. It is a concept most associated with the proverb, it is not wrong to go back for that which you have forgotten. As we grapple with a changing global reality and the expectations and growing pains of being a small island state, this is a thought, a lesson, and a comfort that we must hold on to. That there is nothing wrong with looking to the past, to examine the things that we've lost, and to reclaim what will help us move forward with wisdom and strength. St. Martin Day invites us to do exactly that. It reminds us that before borders and governments, there was one island, one community, people who shared food, family, and friendship. The celebration of Sankofa urges us to look back at that unity, to learn from the resilience of our ancestors who faced slavery, colonialism, and hardship, and yet still found ways to sing, to laugh, to rebuild, and to love this little rock with all their heart. And I can tell you this, that spirit is awake within our young people. As Minister of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport, I encounter each day the new and upcoming generations of St. Martiners, young people that are filled with talent, passion, creativity, and dreams, much like our ancestors were. They demand inclusion, crave progress, and push for equality in a world that is consistently telling them that they do not know enough. Their focus is already fixed on the concept of Sankofa. They look at our past, recognize the right moves and the missteps, and urge us to be different as we continue to build a St. Martin that they will soon inherit. They know what many my age and older have yet to realize. Progress without memory is empty, and an unexamined history is doomed to be repeated. So as we continue to celebrate this St. Martin Day in the best way that we know how, with music, drinks, dance, good food, and great company, let us not forget the lesson of Sankofa. Let us continue to look back, to learn, and lift one another up together. This is how we build a future worthy of those who came before us and fit for those yet to come. As one island, one people, sharing one heart. Happy St. Martin Day, and may the spirit of Sankofa guide us always.
My dear fellow citizens, mes chers compatriotes, today, November the 11th, we proudly celebrate together for the 68th or 67th time our St. Martin Day, a day that belongs to us as a people, the people of St. Martin. On such a day, it is quite fitting for me to warmly and sincerely congratulate each and every one of you. You have all contributed to bring this island to its present state of development and led the elements by which we can together begin to visualize what the future holds for us. As we come together today, I can't help but remember and be grateful to those who have gone before us, those who some 70 years ago began the fight for a recognition of our specificities. These men and women who considered that despite our political status, we were first and foremost a people with a geography, a history, a culture, an identity, and therefore needed a designated date that celebrates our achievements and commemorates our significant historical events. Just recently, the former Senator, Mr. Marcel Gums, purposely, I must add, reminded us that it was in the village of French Quarter back in 1959 that Dr. Claude Watty, the late great Dr. Claude Watty and the late great Hubert Petit have decided, from their capacity as leaders of the country back then, have decided firmly and boldly to decide on the 11th of November to make this day a historical moment where we, the people of this great land called St. Martin, will celebrate the unity and the oneness of our people.
Standing here in the heart of Jocelyn Arndell Festival Village, surrounded by our people, our colors, and our culture, I feel the heartbeat of our island. This morning, as the joy bells echoed across the hills and the shores, they didn't just announce a day of celebration. They awakened a spirit of unity, a spirit of resilience, a spirit that says we are St. Martin and we are unbreakable people. From the solemn wreath laying at Bellevue, where we honored our ancestors, to this moment of togetherness, we are writing another proud chapter in our shore's story. For St. Martin Day is not just a commemoration, it's a living testament to the strength of a people who have faced storms, rebuilt from ashes, and continue to shine brighter than ever before. Look around you. See the faces, see the flags, the fellowship. No border, no sea, no storm can divide the heart of this island. To our brothers and sisters of Saint Martin, I say this from my heart. We are one family, one island, and one destiny.